Buddy? Buddy, are you sleeping? Come on, it's review time. What is this? Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
The oldest Indian film that we have reviewed on this channel so far is the 1971 Hindi film Anand with Rajesh Khanna and Amitabh Bachchan. But that will change today because we are taking a journey back to the year 1955. And this journey is also our entry into the Bengali language film industry.
In 1955, 34-year-old Satyajit Ray released his directorial debut called Panchali, which can be translated as Song of the Little Road. It should not only become the first movie in a trilogy with two follow-ups in 1956 and 1959, it should also be the start of the career of one of the greatest filmmakers of all time.
Ray was born in Calcutta in 1921, and this is also where he died in the year 1992. In his illustrious career, he did not only work as a film director, but also as a screenwriter, music composer, graphic artist, lyricist, author, and more.
He directed 36 movies, including feature films, documentaries, and shorts. And many of those movies won prizes all over the world, be it the Human Document Award for Panchali at the Cannes Film Festival, the Silver and the Golden Bear at the Berlin Film Festival for Charulata and Ashani Sanket, the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival for Aparajito, or all kinds of awards for a number of films at the National Film Awards of India.
Awards are of course not a single quality that makes a career, they are just prizes that some people decide to award to somebody, but the respect and reverence that Ray got and still gets all around the globe speaks for itself. He can easily be placed alongside directors like Orson Welles, Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock, Federico Fellini, Akira Kurosawa, Fritz Lang or François Truffaut, who reportedly did not like this movie very much, but what the hell does he know?
Right. Well, awards are just awards, but if you get them, you are pretty honored. And I think that Ray was just that when he got the Honorary Academy Award in 1992.
Well, it's an extraordinary experience for me to be here tonight to receive this magnificent award, certainly the best achievement of my movie-making career.
Now let's talk about Panchali, which was Ray's first film, and there's a long list of great debut films, for example Mad Max by George Miller, The 400 Blows by François Truffaut, The Night of the Hunter by Charles Laughton, and of course Citizen Kane by Orson Welles. Satyajit Ray's Panchali definitely belongs in that list.
According to some IMDb trivia, legend has it that on the first day of shooting, Satyajit Ray had never directed a scene. His cameraman Subrata Mitra had never photographed one, and none of his child actors had even been screen tested for their roles.
Well, I'm not really sure about that legend's authenticity, but it makes for a great story. And even if it's not completely true, the fact is that this was the first film for those people, and that's simply incredible. So let's talk about the story of this little gem.
The overarching narrative and theme is a struggle to make a living. We follow this poor family, the Roys, who live in the ancestral home of the father. He's a priest and a poet, an artist who tries to support his wife and two young children, his daughter Durga and his son Apu, who will eventually become the main protagonist in all the three movies of the so-called Apu Trilogy.
It's a drama, but it's also full of joy and all the hard struggles, poverty, old age, it's part of the human existence. Panchali isn't a story-driven film, it's driven by the characters and maybe just life itself. Life that keeps moving forward.
That's a very good way to put it. In that overarching narrative we find all kinds of wonderful scenes that picture the day-to-day life of the family members. And the way that everything gets peeled off and then put together again piece by piece, layer by layer, it forms a wonderful picture.
I think a very important aspect in films is the introduction of your crucial characters. And from what we've seen from Indian cinema so far, they often deliver on this. It's most recognizable, of course, with your big star in a big hero role. But watching Pather Panchali, this low-budget independent drama, I was so happy that the little boy Apu gets a wonderfully unique introduction as well. His sister is trying to wake him up in the morning and he has pulled a blanket over his whole body and face. The very first thing that we see is his big open eye, and we instantly get music and a little energetic montage.
That moment is so cinematic, it evokes and does something that only a movie can do and no other medium. It's a very lovely scene, and it's also in line with the whole film because Satyajit Ray uses eyes and looks between characters or characters and certain things very frequently and in a very distinct way.
The cinematography is outstanding, stunningly beautiful, as if someone is painting with light and shadows. It's very expressionistic, and it's always awesome to see techniques like the depth of focus used in such an elaborate way. Different levels with foreground and background.
The use of space is very visible, everything is well organized in the frame, and with that we get lots of beautiful shots through windows, door cracks and the likes. It comes full circle with the use of eyes and looks, and Apu's introduction with his open eye as he looks through his gap of his blanket.
The way the film incorporates its setting lets it become a character itself. And nature is such a crucial part in creating the world of Apu and his family. You really get a great understanding and feeling of their home and the wide surroundings. It's of course partly because of Rai's naturalistic and poetic way of directing. The film is full of details that help to flesh out this world, and that results in this very high level of realism.
Rai finds beauty and grace in every facet of life, humans and animals, day and night, sunshine and rain, health and sickness, the days of childhood and the last ones one spends on this earth, life and death. He captures all of that with a awake and curious eye.
And a loving eye as well.
Of course, this movie is nothing if not made with love and affection.
Another pillar of Pather Panchali is the music by the great Ravi Shankar, one of the, or probably the most famous Indian musician.
Shankar helped popularize the use of Indian instruments in Western pop music in the 1950s and 60s by touring through the world and also working with the Beatles, for example. And with that, the sitar became the best known Indian instrument, and this instrument is a crucial part of the score for Pather Panchali.
The majority of the score was composed within the duration of a single night, in a session that lasted for about 11 hours, and the result is just wonderful. It can be sad and heartbreaking, but it can also be exhilarating and delightful.
Just like the movie in general, I guess the only little thing that keeps me from calling this movie perfect or a masterpiece, and that is what you will call it in a few seconds, is that it feels a bit distant at times and that I was more occupied with the beauty of the form and the structure than its actual content. But that's definitely a very subjective thing, and I'm in agreement with anyone who calls it a masterpiece. So in German we'd say,
Pather Panchali ist ein Meisterwerk von einem echten Meister, ein Kunstwerk von einem echten Künstler, wunderschön, ergreifend und voller Leben. I give Pather Panchali 9 out of 10. It's more like 9.4, but I don't do that.
For me, it's a straight 9 out of 10.
So that's it for today and our review of Pather Panchali, the first movie in the Apu Trilogy.
And we can already say that we will also review Aparajito and Apur Sansar, part 2 and 3 of the trilogy in the coming weeks.
Well, let's make that coming month. We have a lot of work to do and a lot of movies to watch. But we will of course be back with another Indian movie review next week. Until then, you can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at The Jimmy Cage.
And you can hit me up simply at The Buddymeister.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.